Good morning, YouTube. Let's rise and shine. Episode number 40. The Lost Boys movie poster. The 6th installment. Today we are going to be working on Star. Possibly might be working on Laddie too. We'll see how it goes. But before we get started, we are going to go ahead and just run this intro.
You are watching Vanitas.
Alrighty, guys. Welcome to the studio. My name is King Kavo, and today we are working on the 6th installment of the Lost Boys movie poster fan art challenge. Today we are working on Star. Possibly going to get into maybe doing a little bit of Laddie. I don't know. We'll see how much it goes. The thing about Star is she's the only female in the picture, and she is definitely tricky. You know, she's got a very smooth face, a very straight on face. Her gaze is, she's looking at you, but again, she could be looking at Michael. There's really no expression on her face, so there's no lines, so there's no place for me to hide mistakes in her face if, you know, it doesn't really come out right, because she ain't got no rugged stare. She doesn't have any, you know, man lines or anything like that. So and also she's the third biggest face in the image, so there's no doubt that it's got to look right. The other biggest face in here is Laddie, and I'm not sure the name of the other lost boy. I have to go back and remind myself. But you know, those faces, they're little, so I can still, you know, get away with, you know, their image not being 100% accurate because they're small, right? But with this, you know, Star needs to look like Star. So she's still a bit of a challenge, probably one of the more challenging ones, because again, there's no, you know, place to really, there's no room for error with her. With her, you got her hand is obvious there. There's, you know, certainly the shoulder and how that blends with the shadows and the uniqueness of her outfit. Plus she's got all that jewelry on her wrist. So she is definitely going to be tricky to do. But we'll see how it goes. Today, I would like to talk about being a more personable presence on the show. For those of you that know me and have been around, this is not my first rodeo when it comes to YouTube channels and YouTube shows. Although I would say at this point, with 40 episodes, This is my biggest and most long-lived YouTube channel. I started off about 3 years ago in Texas, and I had a YouTube show where I was just an extension of my comedy, and it was actually at the point right where COVID started to become an issue, so then it was like there was no place for me to even go. So it was just one of those things where it was just something that I did, cracked a couple jokes, told some stories, and that was pretty much it. And then I came up here to New Jersey, and I got into the cannabis industry, and I started doing reviews for different cannabis strains on one particular show that led to another particular show that led to another particular show. And if you followed through any of those, I pretty much did the same thing. I reviewed different strains, and I told stories, and I cracked jokes. That was pretty much it. In between there, I had a show where it was about art, and I posted myself painting certain things. I did Vanitas at one point. I did a show with that. I did a skateboard show, and I did a couple of other things, and posted those shows to YouTube, even though they were only like maybe 1 or 2 episodes, and nothing really more than that. This, like I said, at 40 episodes is the most prolific I've been with YouTube shows and YouTube channels. And at this point, I would say that it's interesting because I'm not very personable on this. I think I've done one episode where I was showing how to attach velvet, how I attach velvet to canvas, where it was actually me talking to the camera and being an on-camera presence more than just me painting and voiceover type. And so I've been kind of wondering if it would be more interesting if I was a little bit more personable, if I actually did have a little bit more personal content, not too much in the way of behind the scenes of my life or anything like that, but more or less just me being more of a actual on camera presence. One of the things I was thinking about was in one of the YouTube channels that I was doing, I actually started doing things about dishes that I was making, things that I cooked. And there was a thought in my head that it was like, I never got around to doing that one recipe that I love so much that I just really wanted to put it on YouTube, because it was just one of those things where I love this recipe, and the truth is that I haven't made this dish since I wanted to put, and so it gives me an excuse to maybe make the dish because it's so fantastic. But I don't know, is it, I know that I've said that I'll post anything on this channel that is creative and art related, and certainly I think cooking is a creative and art related industry. I don't really consider myself a professional on any level. Have I been paid to cook people's meals? Yeah, when I worked at Pizza Hut, they paid me to make pizza. I mean, come on. But do I consider myself a chef? By no means. I don't even really consider myself a cook. I consider myself someone that can cook, but, you know, not that. So much so that it's like, you know, it isn't that I wouldn't make a YouTube channel about me cooking dishes, but there's a lot to that, and I have way too much art to paint than to try to, you know, put a YouTube channel together about cooking. That's just too much. But, you know, I feel like maybe here and there I might, you know, decide to share one of my recipes with you guys here and there, just because in this forum on Velvet Vanitas, I do believe that I am very much enjoying this in a way that I really didn't enjoy the other videos and other things that I've done, because in many of those cases, you know, except for when I very first started, in many of those cases I was doing videos and YouTube channels really to promote other people's stuff, you know, and in doing this is about me and promoting my art, and, you know, and not necessarily, because like in my last video I promoted a friend of mine's Etsy channel, which isn't there anymore. So I'm just gonna drop on this where you can reach her on Facebook to get that bad hat that I had. It was awesome. I loved it. But, you know, in that case, yeah, I'll promote people that are artists like me trying to make a living with their art skills, certainly. But not to help other people's businesses that are making millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and, you know, I'm not getting anything for making a YouTube channel promoting them. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's something where, you know, I have lots of creative friends that are artists, and, you know, I'll pick who I feel like I want to give a shout out to here and there or whatever, because, you know, this is my channel and I can do whatever I want to. I don't mean to be rude, but I mean, that's what it is. I don't mean to sound rude either, because, you know, I'm trying to, you know, shout out to people that I love, basically. You know, that's what that is. But yeah, like I said, you know, I really thought about whether or not, you know, I should be more personable, be more of a presence, tell more funny stories, and, you know, crack jokes and stuff like that. Because, you know, after all, you know, there's content that needs to be created, right? It's more than just me painting, right? Because if that was the case, you know what I mean, then there's no need for me to do anything except just put raw video of me painting. What's the point in editing and any of that? Well, it's a entertainment value. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to really consider myself an educator, nor do I really consider myself, you know, anymore really an entertainer. I kind of do this for posterity. You know what I mean? And to be in contact with my friends, and, you know, just to basically keep me going, keep me moving, keep me doing something. You know what I mean? And the time it takes for me to paint, and the time it takes for me to film and edit video, it all seems to work. You know what I mean? And from time to time, you know, my lovely wife, who is a fantastic cook, she lets me get in the kitchen and do my thing. And, you know, there's times where I feel like, man, maybe, you know, let me drop one of these recipes, you know what I mean? And let me tell you, this particular recipe, nobody does this the way that I do this. You know what I mean? Let me just say, and the thing about it is, it's like, this isn't a recipe that I was taught. right? This isn't something that was handed down from, you know, family or nothing like that. I had to go and research this recipe. And it took me a minute to figure this thing out, to do it in such a way where I can call it my own and ain't nobody messing with it. You know what I mean? It's all that, and you know, I don't know. There's a part of me, I feel like I don't even know if I should share that recipe. Maybe I should do something else too. You know, it's funny, you know. But I don't know. We'll see. Keep your eyes out there. Maybe I'll just, you know, sort of drop the hint bomb on there real quick that you just, you know, maybe get tuned in here a little bit later. Might catch me teaching y'all how to make one of my super special birthday type, anniversary type dishes. You know what I mean? If you trying to impress somebody, you know, you want that somebody to be in love with you forever, you make this dish I'm talking about right here, you got them on lock. You got them on lock. I had this dish, I only made this dish a couple different times, really. It's a new dish to me. But if I had made this dish for my wife, she probably wouldn't have let me out of the kitchen. That's how this dish, let me tell you. I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned. Haha. Cliffhanger, right? That's one of those things, leave you in suspense. Anyway, let me tell you, the joy that I have found in painting velvet and filming it and sharing it with you guys is something that it's more than I really expected, you know, this time around doing, you know, another YouTube show. It's interesting to me because it's not easy, you know, and I struggle through a lot of this, you know, and this particular painting that I'm working on, this one is the epitome of struggle. It's you know, it's not easy. You know, this is a very difficult painting for me. It just doesn't, you know, I love painting on velvet because that's already a challenge. That's already difficult. You know, I've spent so many years of my life inking cardstock paper for comic books, you know, using watercolor paper for art, you know, and having the paper not be a problem, right? Painting on canvas and having the canvas not be a problem. Not having to fight the medium, right? But velvet doesn't care. Velvet is velvet, and it's going to behave the way that she wants to behave. And, you know, I like that. I like that challenge because every time I go in, I get butterflies in my stomach as to whether or not it's going to come out good, right? It gives me the same feeling I had when I started doing tattoos. Whenever I started a new tattoo, I always had this nervous energy where it was like, man, you know, it's everything rides on right now, you know, no mistakes, you know, that chasing that level of perfection, right? It just was so exciting. Now, you know, as a human, I know that I am fallible and that every tattoo I ever did, I messed up someplace. You know what I mean? And every painting I've ever done, I've messed up. And so here I am with velvet, and I know that I'm already going to mess it up, and I'm in there like fighting, you know, one of the most difficult mediums I've ever had to paint on. So it's like guaranteed I'm going in there and I'm going to get my butt kicked type thing. And, you know, you have to have a certain mindset to get up and go in there and get your teeth kicked in and, you know, pick your teeth up and go back in there. You know what I mean? And that's what this is, and that's what it does for me. And it has enlivened my creativity. And so I love that, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to share it with you here. It is just one of those things where, you know, I realize right now I only have 7 subscribers, and you know, I go back and I look and see some of those other channels, you know, have, you know, 20 or 30 subscribers. Some of those shows that I put out, one show I put out had over 300 views. You know what I mean? So I understand what it means, you know, how important it is, and there's reasons and ways that I'm doing this, because, you know, when it's like those, when it's 10 views, I know that it's 10 people looking at it. You know what I mean? I know I got 7 subscribers. I know I got 7 strong people, you know, behind me. And it's not just people who aren't paying attention and who aren't looking. And so to me, it just means a lot, because I know that, you know, I'm growing it truthfully and organically, you know, and I really appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching me and participating with me in this process. Thank you. Well, what can I tell you? The next episode, episode 41, I'll be working on the last few coats of the Lost Boys up there in the corner. I'll be finishing those out, and then I'll need to put a second red coat, and then everything on this will be pretty much at the same level of second coat. And then after that, we'll begin the finishing process, usually the 3rd or 4th coats, which happen kind of about the same time. We'll start to bring this thing home. I really look forward to it. I'm still very nervous, because now as we get closer to the end, that's where, you know, the tiniest mistakes are the biggest ones. You know, it's harder to fix it when you're nearly done. So it's going to get to be a little bit more nerve-wracking here towards the end. Stay tuned. Yeah, still, no matter what, stay tuned. I like to ask you guys to like videos, subscribe to the channel, feel free to comment. I might not necessarily comment back, but I will certainly read your comments, and if warranted, certainly I'll respond. I am using all different types of social media now. I am doing things on TikTok and Instagram, posting all those things in all these places, so that I get my viewership numbers up, get my subscribers numbers up, because the truth of the matter is, y'all need some velvet in y'all's lives. That's how I would have said it if I lived in Texas still. So I'm up here in New Jersey. Let me re-say it. You guys need some velvet in your lives. How about that? Does that a little bit more? Man, I feel like I want to go get eat some good pizza tonight. Let me tell you, this has been a wonderful time for me living back home right now. Currently, my Eagles are 5-0, and my Philadelphia Phillies, Red October, man, we are tearing it up. My October right now is green and red. My October is beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yeah, that's right. Got them green for the Eagles, got that red for the Phillies. Man, it's gonna be awesome. I hope we do it, man. We looking good up here right now. Well, I guess that's me talking about a little personal stuff, right? You know, and I don't really talk too much about my love for my Philadelphia teams, but we're doing good. You know, I ain't gonna lie. Yesterday against the Cardinals, we didn't beat the Cardinals. We just didn't lose. That's how I feel like, because, you know, they could have tied it up there at the end, but it was wide right. Yeah, that was awesome. And walked out of there 5-0, but you know, you need to snap it together. We'll see what's going on. We got the Cowboys next. Man, like I said, I lived in Texas for 30 years, and I managed to keep them blue and silver off my back. Ugh. The Cowboys were terrible. I can't stand the Cowboys. But, you know, and now we're going to go in and we up against the Cowboys. We're going to try to get 6-0. Man, that's going to be another challenge. Hopefully I'll have this painting done before then, and I can fully put all my nervous energy into trying to beat them boys, because I feel like America's team is Philadelphia, the original capital of the United States. So that would be like our nation's is an eagle. It's not a cowboy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, here's where I'm gonna drop the string crafts by Zine Crafts. For Facebook, you can catch Michelle, and she'll make you some awesome knitted items. Man, she does all kinds of great things. Like I said, I got this octopus hat. I'm gonna show y'all that one of these episodes here. Y'all check it out. It's off the hook. I love it. My kid, as soon as I got it, he stole it from me, so I don't even get to wear it anymore. But I'll sneak it on one of these episodes up here coming soon, and then y'all get to see how talented she is. Just a fantastic artist. But I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Like I said, tune in, and we'll get with you. You need most certainly you need some art in your life. And Velvet, thank you guys for watching.
Ouch. Watch where you're poking that, mister.
Assimilate algorithm resistance is futile.